Good morning, classmates. Good morning, Zershak. We are Group 4. The topic that were assigned to us is welding hand tools, shielded metal arc welding equipment, and accessories. First is the welding hand tools. What is welding hand tools? A hand tool is any tool that is not a power tool, that is one powered by hand rather than by an engine. So basically, yung hand tool daw is yung mga tools na ginagamit sa welding na magsaserve na kahit kamay lang is masaserve yung purpose kahit hindi gamitan ng mga machines or engine. One example of this is chipping hammer. Chipping hammer are designed with a pointed peak end on one side and a flat end on the other side. They are used to chip away the slugs and bits of metal from your weld in case you need to lay another bead on the same spot or bead that is going to overlap the first place. So yung chipping hammer daw is ginagamit siya para maalis yung mga slug. Yung slug is yung, di ba kapag nagwe-welding ka, meron dun yung parang mga excess na mga metal. So pag gusto mo yun alisin, pupukpok mo lang siya doon para, ayun, maalis na siya agad. Second is tri-square. Tri-square is a special purpose square in wood and a metal working used to mark or measure material. So yung tri-square is ginagamit siya para mag-cut or mag-mark ng mga 90 degrees na angle. Yun. Sunod is wire brush. Another staple for clean welding process is the wire brushes. Their objective is to remove the rust or heat discoloration without damaging the base metal. The wire brushes are categorized under the different groups considering their applications such as wire wheel brushes, cup brushes, and hand brushes. So yung wire brushes is ginagamit siya para linisin. Diba pag ginamit mo yung chipping hammer, tatanggalin mo yung mga excess metal. So, ibig sabihin, andun pa rin siya sa paligid. Para matanggal yun, ang gagamitin mo is yung wire brushes. Alisin mo yun, lilinisin mo yung surface niya. And ginagamit din yan para alisin yung mga, pag gusto may mga alisin kang mga kalawang, ganun. Ayan dapat yung gamitin. Sunod is welding pliers. Welding pliers are specially designed to effectively remove welding spatter. The multiple jaws of the plier is used to pull the wire and install the teeth and nozzles. So, yung welding plier is ginagamit siya basically to cut wires kapag meron kang gustong putulin, and pwede mo din siyang gamitin kapag mag-i-install ka ng tip and nozzles. Next one is hacksaw. Hacksaw is a type of hand tool designed specifically for cutting through materials such as plastics, steels, and other metals that are variant of the traditional handsaw. Typically used for cutting wood and have become a staple tool for professional and hobbies alike. So yung hacksaw is ginagamit siya para pag may puputulin ka, plastics, metal, kahit ano. So kapag meron kang desired, pag meron kang desired length lang na ganun lang yung kailangan mo, ayun yung gagamitin mo para makuha yung ganung sukat na kailangan mo. Next po.
Ball-peen hammer. The ball-peen hammer has a pinning face which is useful for rounding off edges of metal pins, fasteners, such as rivets. Yung ball-peen hammer is yung another job na suitable sa kanya is yung pag-dish out ng mga metal using yung switch. And yung type ng hammer na to is not definitely required in the workshop. Pero commonly use siya kapag mag-spread ka ng mga metals gusto mo na mas mabilis and equal. Kapag may may project ka na gagawin na ganun, and ito yung word to use na material. Next slide. Center punch. A drill has a tendency to wander if it does not start in a recess. A center punch forms a large enough dimple to guide the tip of the drill. It usually used to mark the center of a hole while drilling holes. Yung center punch hole naman is special type siya ng punch hole na ginagamit pang shallow indention sa mga workpiece for the purpose of drilling. Tapos kapag wala kang center punch hole, yung drill mo, pwede magka-problema na ma-veer off yung mga digs sa mga workpiece. Sunod is cold chisel. Cold chisel are used to cut through hard materials like metal or masonry. They are often used to shape metals when the stock is thick and where other tools like hacksaw or thin snips will be unsuitable for the task. When you need to remove a few pieces of metal quickly, the cold chisel is considered to be a key. It is only dahil hindi siya nagko-consume ng masyadong matagal na oras, hindi katulad ng pagre-reciprocate ng mga saw and other angle grinder. Next slide. Next slide is the welding clamps. Welding clamps are handy for running an arc and weld pieces together in a tight alignment. Clamps are metal sheet holders that temporarily hold two pieces of materials together. Yung welding clamps naman ay useful siya sa mga large sheets and parts ng mga difficult na materials o objects na hindi kayang hawakan ng tao. And ang clamp naman is nakadepende siya sa size ng project and the types ng materials na gagamitin mo. Next is the welding magnet. Welding magnets are being used to assist welders in working hands-free, making the welding process safer and more secure. Welding magnets keep things in place, allowing welders to operate safely and efficiently. They provide quick and set up and precise folds. Compared sa mga traditional welding squares and clamps, itong welding magnets is mas mabilis gamitin and more versatile dahil ina-allow nito yung mga welding projects na mas smooth yung flow dahil yung mga workmen is free to their hand to safely work on a certain project. Next slide.
So next is vice. Vice is device consisting of two parallel jaws for holding a workpiece. One of the jaw is fixed and the other movable by screw, a level or cam. Yung vice is isa siyang holder na isa siyang holder ng ginagamitan para magdikit yung isang bagay para once na gusto mo magdikit ng dalawang bakal, hindi siya masyadong magulo. So next is level bar. Level is a tool used to determine whether a surface is horizontal or vertical. Without this you can build a house that works well or looks good. Not to mention hang kitchen cabinets or trim out a door. So yung level bar is ginagamit siya parang pangsukat ng isang bagay kung pantay ba or hindi. Yan. Next slide. Next is X-clamp. Designed to be extremely adaptable, the new X-clamp system is an innovative way to mount light cameras, antennas, GoPros on a 1.5 inches diameter. So yung X-clamp daw is isa siya, ginagamit siya para ginagamit rin siya parang pang-hold din siya ng isang bagay para hindi magalaw if may yung gano'n. So next is grounding pliers. Ground pliers, hand-operated tool for holding and gripping small articles or for bending and cutting wire. So yun, yung grounding pliers, ginagamit siya pang-hold sa mga malilit na bagay. Pwede rin siya pang-cut ng isang wire. So yun, next na.
So next is toggle clamps. A toggle clamp is a tool that you can use to securely locate components or parts in position. Typically, but not exclusively, as part of a production process, the primary features of a toggle clamp are that toggle clamps lock in position securely and are quick acting. They can be quickly turned on and off by an operator. So, ang toggle clamp has 6 different types. There are horizontal toggle clamps, vertical, plunger or push action toggle clamp, hook action, plier action, and cam action toggle clamps. And then Ang use nila is ginagamit sila para mag-hold ng mga material in place, and then once na ayaw na ng operator na i-hold yung isang material, pwede nilang tanggalin ito. And next are spanners. Spanners are used more than any other tool for tightening or loosening different jobs. These are generally made of drop forged steel or carbon steel. These are made in different shapes and sizes according to requirements. And so spanners are also known as wrenches. And then there are also many types of spanners. Where there are open-end spanners, double-end, ring spanners, socket spanner, box combination, adjustable, T-socket, magneto, Allen key or Allen wrench, pin face adjustable spanner. So lahat ng types ng yon, ang main use nila is to tighten or loosen yung mga nuts or yung mga tornilyo. Next po. And next is tip cleaner. Welding tip cleaner kits contain files that fit precisely into the tip to gently remove grime and the buildup of carbon to create a smooth and polished surface. These welding tip cleaner kits are also essential for cleaning out holes on the welding torch where carbon can gather and affect the flames. So ang tip cleaners, basically ginagamit sila para maglinis ng mga dumi sa material na wine-welding natin. They are, yun lang po.
Next is scale and weld gauge. Welding gauge are measuring instrument used for all measurement during welding work. And this tool is used for checking alignment and dimension before welding. So, ginagamit rin ito sa checking and inspection. Next is welding framing jig. A jig is a large base that keeps a welding project stable in the face of pressure, heat, motion, and force. A quality jig will streamline welding work by keeping parts together in a vice grip. And this tool is framing jig. Ginagamit to para stable lang yung tool na i-welding para hindi siya gumalaw. Then next is feed square. Among its basic uses are marking common, hip valley and hip or valley jack rafters, laying out stairs, stringers determining and marking angles, and marking square cuts on boards. And this tool is used for and also used for inspection and checking. Ginagamit to para mabilis mo masukat yung isang bagay na o material na kung 90 degree or 45. Next is
sheet metal gauge. Steel metal gauge is a wheel with teeth spaced different widths apart corresponding to sheet metal's various standard widths. As a tool, the sheet metal gauge is indispensable for welders of any skill level. So itong metal gauge is ginagamit to para mas effective yung pag-welding natin. Then ginagamit din siya para malaman kung gaano ka-thick or gaano kanipis ang kailangan nating mga metal para sa ating mga general project. Next one is soapstone. Soapstone, also known as steatite or soap rock, is a talc schist which is a type of metamorphic rock. It is composed largely of the magnesium-rich mineral talc. So itong soapstone is siya literal na soap. Then ginagamit to for marking implement. Para lang siyang chalk na pwede ipangsulat para sa mga metal. Next slide. Next one is C-clamp, is a type of clamp device typically used to hold a wood or metal workpiece and often used in but are not limited to carpentry and welding. Often believed that these clamps are called C-clamps because of their C-shaped frame, are also often called C-clamps or G-clamps. So yung C-clamps is for steadiness at mas effective to kasi sa mga pinch clamps kasi nagbibigay siya ng mas malakas na pressure. Next slide. Shielded metal arc welding or SMAW, equipment and accessories. So ano nga ba yung SMAW? SMAW, shielded metal arc welding, is one of the oldest arc welding processes. SMAW is a fusion welding process that uses a consumable flux-coated electrode. Molten metal travels from the electrode via the electrical arc and is deposited into the workpiece. So ano ba yung process ng SMAW? The heat of the arc is used by SMAW to help melt the top of a consumable covered electrode and base metal. The electrode and the item being welded are both connected to an electric circuit. The power source, welding lines, electrode holder, and ground clamp are also included in this circuit. Next slide po. Number one accessories or equipment ng SMAW is welding machine. Welding machine is a device used to join materials together. Welding machines produce heat that melts metal parts so that these parts can be joined. Dito naman sa welding machine, dito, very common na to sa atin. Kapag wala nito, hindi tayo makakapag-welding. Second is electrode cable. Electrode cable for the connection of measuring cell and transducer. The electrode cable is suited for the connection of pH and redox combination electrodes. Metal and reference electrodes, conductivity, measuring cells, as well as temperature sensor with the respective transducer. Dito sa electrode cable, very popular na rin to. Kung walang cable, is walang magta-transfer na electricity para sa ating pag-welding. Next slide po. Electrode holder. Electrode holder connects to the welding cable and conducts the welding current to the electrode. Dito sa electrode holder, ito yung humahawak ng copper kung saan isa siyang din copper pala na humahawak sa electrode para tayo makapag-welding. So, next reporter po.
The next one is welding cable. Welding cable is the electrical conductor for the welding current. It consists of a series of fine copper strands wrapped inside a non-conductive durable jacket, which is typically some type of synthetic or natural rubber of various color. Flexibility than other types of electrical conductors, and the insulating jacket is designed to hold up to repeated movement. As the current level increases, which is measured in amperage or amps, the diameter of the welding cable and resulting cross-sectional area of the copper stranding needs to increase. Next slide. Next slide. The next one is lead. Lead is a waterproof metal that melts easily and is less prone to corrosion than other metals. Use an oxyacetylene torch and a rod of lead solder to create a strong, long-lasting bond between the metal and the hot wire or cable you're welding. So, ginagamit yung lead para makakreate ng mas matibay tsaka mas long-lasting na ginagawa mo. I mean, mas matibay tsaka mas long-lasting yung wini-weld mo kapag lead yung gamit mo. And then, oxyacetylene torch is the most common heating source. It uses acetylene as the main fuel with oxygen to generate the highest combustion temperature. The next one is the cable connector. Cable connectors allow welders to quickly remove cables from their welding machine and adjust the cable size to suit their needs. Different cable connectors for different welding cable sizes are available. The male connectors allow it to pull the two cable connectors halves together for a more secure fit. The female connector is recessed to prevent shortening. Cable connectors covers are made from a special heat and cold resistant material which will protect them from extreme weather conditions. The next is the ground clamp. It is used to connect the ground cable to the workpiece as well as the surface it is being welded onto. The ground clamp may be connected directly to the work or to the table or fixture upon which the work is positioned. Being a part of the welding circuit, the ground clamp must be capable of carrying the welding current without overheating due to the electrical resistance. Next slide. So according to Louis McMaster Buchhold, whether you function as welders or inspectors, the laws of physics are implacable lie detectors. You may fool men, but you will never fool the metal. As we end our presentation, we have left you some questions. Here are the questions. Number one is, what are the consequences of using incorrect hand tool to a specific work? The next question is, after the discussion, do you think you can use those hand tools for the aspects of our everyday life? The third question is, why is it essential to learn and understand the uses and purposes of welding accessories and equipment? That's the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you have learned something. Thank you.